What's up, guys? It's your boy Coder from the Elestrals, and this video is not going to be edited almost at all. I might do a little bit of cuts here and there, but something big just dropped that we need to talk about. There is a distributor website that has essentially leaked every single product from Moonrise, along with a bunch of cards that are inside of the Moonrise set and the Moonrise starter decks. So we're going to be looking at these leaks that I don't know if any of you guys have seen this or anything like that. This was posted in the Elestrals Marketplace Discord, and I just found the link there, and I went to look at it, and this is real. This is like absolutely like a real leak. And so we're going to look through the things that we have here. So let's take a look together. So here we're on the website, PhD, Pulse of the Game Industry, and we have Elestrals TCG Moonrise that says releases January 2025. Now, if we look here, we already see this card called Volclips. Looks like be like a nine-tailed fox with some moon symbols on its tails. Then we have, the plushie, the starter decks. We have a binder over here, and we have what looks like the booster box. I believe that's the booster box, and then some cards on it. Can't really make out what some of these cards are, but there's some interesting things to look at here. So first off, we see the release date is January 17th, 2025. Not too sure if that was known or not, but now we know the release date is January 17th. And then here we seem to have what looks to be the Ascension form of Nabi. And this is the Pasta Moose, which we've already seen because it was in the Shattered Stars. If we look on the side over here, I can't really super make out what these cards are. This one here, this Earth card, looks to be that that Anteater card that we had in the tournament pack, that 2-drop Anteater. It's entirely possible that this is either its ascended form or its like smaller form or something like that. I would assume that's what it is because this looks to be an Earth Elestral that has like the colors of Lunar. This kind of looks like Gloombat, but I can't really tell. This is 100% Artemis, and this is that nine-tailed fox that we saw at the top over here. Then we actually have cards with names and effects. So let's have a look. So here we have Comalis. Comalis, Stellar, going to be coming in a blister pack, and it's a 1-cost Lunar Elestral. That's basically a Nexus form of Kamagma that says you can Nexus up to 2 Lunar. When you do, you can search your deck for and then this symbol, Elestral, and add it to your hand. So I went ahead and looked, and this is the Spectral symbol, and these are the only 5 cards in the game currently that you can search that are Spectral type, which is Brought to Wisp, Fungi, Farrageist, Faramel, and Specteris. So a Specteris searcher is really interesting, but I'm assuming that a lot of the cards in this Lunar set are actually going to be Spectral, so the Comalis might just be really, really good for searching into the Lunar type. Not as strong as what Exaltus was, because there was just a ton of Ethereals you could search for this. This is going to have, it's going to need to have a lot of new cards that are going to be able to be searched off of it. Then after that, we have the Stellar Owloon, which is really cool looking, but then we have Werepup, and this card has a really interesting effect. It says, when you normal cast this Werepup, you can search your deck for a Lunar phase and add it to your hand. When you cast Lunar Phase Full Moon, you can special ascend this Werepup to like a Void from your hand or deck. So the reason why this is interesting is because not only does it let us know that this also has a new Ascension form that you can kind of turbo out, because this seems to search for the card that lets you then immediately ascend, which seems to be very fast. But the other thing is that it lets you know that there are multiple Lunar Phase cards. Now, if I go back and I look at the Volclips that we have over here, this like nine-tailed fox with the Lunar phases on its tail, this kind of makes me believe that we're going to be getting a Lunar Phase card for all of the different Lunar phases, and this basically archetype of Lunar Phase cards is going to kind of play with the Like a Void, but also play with the Volclips, which I think is really good, because Elestrals is a game that's currently kind of hurting for decks with specific identities. You have bears that have like an archetype synergy type thing, but a lot of the decks in general are just Earth, Fire, Water. This seems to be giving us some kind of like Lunar Phase archetype or engine that would be really freaking dope to be able to use. So that's awesome. Then we move on to the starter decks that we got leaked. So we have the Pasta Moose starter deck, which we knew of Pasta Moose because it was in the Shattered Stars set. If I'm looking at the cards on the side here, I see the Fawnlet, but I can't really make out what any of these cards are. You can't really read the text on them, unfortunately. Wish you could, but you can't. And then the other one is starter deck Fulgorix. So this appears to be the ascended form of Nabi. If I'm looking at this objectively, this definitely looks like it's like a third form, because we know that there's the middle form on the text of Nabi. I forget what it's called, but my assumption is that it goes Nabi, then the one mentioned on Nabi, then Fulgorix. Not too sure what this card does. If you look at the booster packs over here, you have the Fulgorix that seems to be like trying to eat up these little, I forget what this card's called. It's the one that draws to, the fire one that draws to when it's summoned. So maybe this card just like feeds on very small Elestrals. So maybe it makes casting out small Elestrals difficult. Something to, you know, consider. But the other thing that's interesting is if you look at the contents of the starter deck, it tells you have the how to play guide, the Lunar spin down die, the 3 booster packs. But then it says each starter deck has a chance for a reverse stellar Havocub or Bandaloon. Now, realistically speaking, Bandaloon most likely a Lunar Nexus form of the Bubloon, the water Elestral. So if it has an effect similar to that, then it would +2/+2 all of your Lunar enchanted Elestrals, which could be really strong, especially considering Nabi has an effect that wants to connect an attack on an opponent. Havocub, maybe like a Frigicub Nexus form, something like maybe they're giving them a second card that's able to Nexus. That would be pretty cool, honestly, because now you would have the Comalis that can Nexus, and then if they give them a second card that also has a Nexus for Lunar, could be really strong. Maybe Lunar Nexus, a powerful deck that we could be seeing in the future. Then on top of that, we have accessories. So these are all just being completely leaked here. So you have the starter deck that has the Owloon on it. You have the binder. But then what's interesting is if you look at the Volclipse sleeves here, you get Volclipse, but if you look down here, it says you get 40 Voldusk sleeves. So these two clearly are an Ascension line. Do they have a middle Ascension form? We don't know. It's entirely possible. If I had to guess, this card probably has some sort of effect that says, like, if you play a specific Lunar phase, then you get to ascend into this thing. Maybe this thing, like, changes forms based on what's the last Lunar phase card that you played and things like that. I'm just really excited to see a deck that's not just going to be splashing the same like 20 cards in it, and instead it's just going to be a deck that has to utilize different Lunar phases to advance its game plan. I think that would be really, really cool. I think the only thing that kind of terrifies me about this specifically is I just hope that the Lunar phases aren't super splashable in a lot of other decks. I hope that they have effects specific towards this archetype rather than having effects that any other deck can utilize. Then on top of that, we also have the sleeves for the Temple of the Moon and the Temple of the Moon mat. If I had to guess, this is just Temple of the Sun, but for Lunar. We have this card over here that was also teased in the art of Novacore. This appears to be the Ascension form of Gloombat. So if we look at the Nexus forms of Gloombat, you know, like Glimbat that has Novacore, and then you have Boombat that has Sonicore. I'm going to assume that this is some kind of evil form of Sonicore, or like Lunar Nexus form of Sonicore, which might have some kind of effect that interacts with back row, especially considering Gloombat pops back row. Maybe this card says, like, if someone plays a back row, you know what I mean? You can, like, maybe negate it or something like that. It'll most likely have some form of interaction as a 2-drop Lunar with back row, which could be really interesting. And then on top of that, we have the Nabi plushie, we have the Voldusk plushie, and we have the Fawnlet plushie. So these are all of the leaks that we have here. I don't believe there's anything else. Let me just look real quick through the Marketplace Discord to see if I've forgotten anything. So yeah, this is basically all the leaks that we have through this like distributor website that seems to have listed the cards early. So let me know what you guys think, because I'm be real, this is kind of sick. I don't think that the Elestrals team really wanted this to be known just yet. I think they would have wanted to announce it themselves, but the Marketplace Discord found this, and I was just like, you know, I got to talk about this. I got to let the people know that this is a thing that is known right now. I'm just trying to see really last minute if I've missed anything, but I don't believe that I have. Each comes the chance of a 1/10 serialized stellar, stellar box topper, 3 available designs for the box topper. There's nothing else on here that I'm missing, I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is everything. So anyways, guys, let me know what you guys are excited for in Moonrise. Honestly, this has hyped me up a lot. I think that Lunar phase deck has a really cool aesthetic and has a lot of room to have dope flavor. So I really, really hope that they went out of their way to make this like its own standalone deck, not something splashable. really, really hoping. The leaked effects that we got of Werepup and Comalis have really shown that Lunar is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I genuinely believe that having search power and something that is able to search into an engine that can also immediately ascend itself is like really powerful. So I'm just hoping that they knock this one out of the park and that this set shakes up the meta, because that is really, really what I would like to see. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed these exclusive leaks that aren't really exclusive because anyone could look them up because they're just online. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!